What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 363 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Shelly Nolan.
Hello.
And LJ Lowry.
Yo!
This week, we're geeking out about Star Wars, writers avenging corporate toxicity, and Netflix video game animes. There's always puns. I don't know if you're listening and you haven't caught that, there's almost always a pun in our geeking out. That doesn't make sense until you listen to the podcast. So, for now, it's just for us. Before we get into any of the news, though, we'll get into games we've been playing. I've just been playing Forbidden West. Don't really have anything to add. So, LJ, what have you been playing?
Let's see. So, I do want to say that my Starfield review just went up according to our editors. So go check that out.
Nice.
Super good game. A few things I want to give a shout out to on Steam Deck, mostly because it's been a great time playing those. I started playing Ori and the Blind Forest again because I did beat Disney's Illusion Island this past week. So I was like, ooh, I want more of that on the couch. And I was like, oh, I've started Ori 3 or 4 times, especially on Xbox. And I was like, whatever, I can pull my Steam save. All right, cool. So I'm playing Ori on my Steam Deck, and those games, I don't know if they're still on sale. But if you don't own an Xbox or Xbox Game Pass, they are on sale on Switch right now and Steam. And so you can get basically both games for under $20 right now, which is a straight up steal. But I don't think the Will of the Wisps runs that great on Switch, if I remember correctly. But either way, still great games. And I also got Pillars of Eternity because that was on a deep sale, and Jamie's been talking about it. And especially playing all the D&D I've been playing, and then all the Baldur's Gate 3 I've been playing. I'm like, ooh, maybe Pillars will scratch that itch too. And it surely does, and it runs really nice on the Steam Deck as well. So, another game I have only tried a few minutes of as of yesterday that is super fun. I think we need to get this going for another stream we do. But I tried Party Animals, which is it's on. I think it's on Steam, and it's on Xbox Game Pass for console and PC, and it's basically Gang Beasts. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Gang Beasts ever had a quick match thing, but you can play with up to it's some stupid amount of people, maybe 8 people, and it puts you all in teams of 2, and you basically just fight each other with ragdoll physics. But the cool thing about Party Animals is you could be these cute little animals, and you can unlock different skins and everything for them. I had to pick the cat since I'm a cat owner now. But it is as goofy as Gang Beasts is, and it's a really high quality game. It's got a lot of charm, a lot of chaos. So, if anybody's fan of Gang Beasts, I highly recommend Party Animals from what I've played of it so far. Definitely a future Geeks Under Grace event game would be hilarious. And then the other game I got into was Counter-Strike, CS:GO. Yeah, Counter-Strike 2 I got into. Nice. They updated CS:GO Global Offensive to Counter-Strike 2, and I haven't had that much fun with Counter-Strike in a long time. I'm playing the casual mode. Counter-Strike was a game that my stepbrothers and my dad used to get into, and so every once in a while I go back, but a few months ago I went back in March, and I was just getting owned everywhere. I don't know if it's just because only the real good players were still playing Counter-Strike at the time, but I have played quite a bit this week, and it has just been super fun, especially to scratch the Call of Duty itch, because I'm not about to load up my PlayStation with 120 gigs of space, even though Call of Duty has a sick looking spawn season going on right now. Mm-hmm. But Counter-Strike has been scratching that itch, and it's been fun to go back to, and it's been real nice to see that game have such an upgrade. So that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Yep. What about you, Shelly?
Well, it's been a minute, so I've actually been playing a lot. I've been playing more Rivals of Aether. That's normal.
Yes.
I'm kind of just playing that instead of Smash now. It's just more fun than Smash, in my opinion. And I was playing Maple originally. And she's still fun, but I've switched to Orcane recently, and he's really hard. I mean, the whole game is hard. The entire game is difficult, and everyone has years of experience on me, but that's okay because
I've played a little bit on my Steam Deck too, and it has been fun to get into a little bit.
Yeah, so I beat it because there's a way to do that in the story mode. So I took the point off backlog golf, and what's funny is that there's a couple Aether games by Aether Studios, and they're all within the Aether world, right? And there's probably going to be more. Obviously, Rivals 2 is the next big like release coming, but if you have some of the other Aether games, you get some unlockables. So we got Lovers of Aether, which I think released on April Fool's at some point years ago, and it's free. And we thought it'd be funny. It's a small dating sim. It's very short. It only takes like an hour or two to beat, like not even maybe. It's very short, and you're in high school and you're with all of the rivals, right? All the fighters, and they're all in the same Aether high school, and you need to ask someone out to the dance, and you have to figure out who to ask to the dance. Which is, it's really cheesy. It's really funny. It's like actually hilarious. Like I really like the writing. Like obviously it's meant to be a joke, and it is, but it's it's fun. And also low-key made me think like, I kind of like want to play more dating sims. Like I don't know if that was the good takeaway, but it kind of made me like I don't really play a ton of dating sims, but I do like dating sims. It's just been a long time since I played any. I'm just like maybe I should play some. But and I beat Lovers of Aether too, so I took another point off for that.
Last dating sim I played was Doki Doki Literature Club.
See, yeah, I want to play How to Full Boyfriend, but I don't own it yet. That's the one where you date pigeons.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be pretty fun.
And for those listening, Doki Doki Literature Club is a horror game.
Yes, it is.
Spoilers.
Yes, but it's very good. So anyway,
I think there's still a KFC one out there too.
Oh my gosh, maybe I should just play all the mini sims. Yeah. There's probably a truck dating simulator out there. I don't know. That's a whole can of worms I probably don't need to get into. Like, just that world of dating sims. But, it could be fun. Besides that, I've been playing more Baldur's Gate 3, of course. Some patches made it way more bearable to play. Oh my gosh. Like, patches released. I remember I was like, pick up the game. And it was like, yeah, there's an 8 gig patch. I'm like, oh, please, please, please make our experience better. And it has. It's made it way less choppy. We don't get insane stuttering and frame rate drops every time we switch characters, or it changes turns, or we cast a spell, or we do honestly anything. So that's really nice. It still has crashed, though, which is kind of unfortunate, and it doesn't run perfectly. There's still some glitches. There's just some weirdness. Like, sometimes you just can't control the character. And then there's just other vague things where the game is very, very obvious and clear in some ways, and very, very vague and annoying in other ways. Like, every time I join the game, there has to be a way to turn it off. I just haven't figured it out. I think there have to be, but there's just tutorials every single time I join the game, which is annoying because it's always like, here's what happens when a character is down. I'm like, there has to be a way to turn this off. I just haven't found it yet, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And then, because like every single time, I'm like, okay, I know how this game works, but then there's times where it's like, I'm trying to jump over there's some lava. I'm trying to jump over to the other side. And the game's like, yeah, you can jump over to the other side. I'm like, cool, I'm going to jump over to the other side. It's like, well, you have to walk in lava for that, but you already hit the button to do so, and so now you're dead. I'm like, okay. So, like, there's a boss we were fighting, and we literally had to restart it 3 times, and it was just because of stuff like that. It wasn't even because we had, like, a bad strategy. Like, our strategy worked. It was just that the game hated us. And it's like, okay, cool. It says I can melee it. It looks like I'm within range. Perfect. I'm going to hit it. Then it's like, well, no, you have to get closer to hit it. And now you're in the lava because that's what you chose to do. And I'm like, okay, mean DM. That's not what I meant, obviously. Like, I really, like, it could benefit so greatly from more of a Fire Emblem mechanic where it's like, you can choose the enemy, you can run up, and then you can, like, confirm the hit and all this stuff. Like, I know in some ways it's supposed to, like, kind of be, like, show that. It's supposed to show where you end up. It just, like, does not do it clearly at all. It does, it's
or, like, when you move, it puts you in an awkward position sometimes. Like,
yeah. And you can't, like, take backsies. Like, you can't play around with your movement and figure out and then confirm where you want to go. You have to commit. You can't, like, look around and, like, figure out, like, oh, well, I can move in this, like, big old circle.
There's no, like, hey, here's where you're gonna go, or here's what you're gonna do. It's just like, nope.
Yeah, you just, like, move. So that's pretty annoying. And, of course, again, I think I've mentioned it before, it does suffer from Bioware syndrome in the sense of that sometimes dialogue, you say one thing and it means something else, and it's really unclear in that way, but that's fine. We've kind of gotten used to that, and again, you just, as long as you save scum, as long as you're always saving, then it's really not that big of a deal.
I told Cody a story last week here on the podcast about how I became an Oathbreaker paladin because of something my friends did.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's stuff like this where it's like, after you, I forget the party member's name, but where the tieflings have her like hanging, and so we convinced them to not we convinced them to let us by. So we shot her down, and then after we shot her down, one of my friends decides to try to interact with the tiefling, and they ended up fighting it. And so I helped them, and then that's when I was like, "Oh, you can do this!" Like,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, you can, yeah, true.
I was like, "Wow!" But yeah, that game is super chaotic with anybody. Like, yeah,
it's a really good game. It's just it's just so much worse in co-op. I mean, and it's not even that so much worse. It's that it's a different game, right? Yeah. It's more fun in co-op, and I have more fun in co-op than I think I would as a single player. I don't think I would want to play this by myself. However, the caveat is that you have a bunch of performance issues and weird glitches and other weird shenanigans. Good and bad shenanigans, I guess is what I should say.
Because we're actually playing, me and a buddy of mine are playing with another friend and his wife, and they've encountered some stuff that I'm like, I haven't had that issue.
Yeah, I just I think it'd be really fun to play with a full party of people.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen, especially because I canceled my PlayStation Plus subscription. So, yeah. Because they were going to raise the price, and I'm like, no thanks. Don't want that.
Yep.
It's not necessary for me. So,
yeah.
Playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. It's just we're not even in Act 2 yet. We already have so many hours in this game, and I just kind of want to move on, if I'm being honest. But then everyone's like, well, you're going to miss this, you're going to miss this. I'm like, okay, I do want to go get those things. I want to get the really broken
There's
ones.
so much to do.
It's just I am a little bit overwhelmed with these huge games. I know we talk about in our Geeks Under Grace staff chats every once in a while, where it's games are just so big now, and it's just overwhelming. Sometimes I want to just get through games. Sometimes I just want to do it. And this isn't necessarily the game for that. The reason this game is so impressive is because there's so much, and because there's so many options, and there's so many ways to do it. And that's fine. I'm realizing, I think for myself, that the problem is I really like big games in other ways. Persona games, those take a long time to get through as well. I'm just gosh dang. But they're also really story based, and you feel like you're making a lot of progression. So I don't know. There's a little bit of a difference there. This isn't necessarily open world kind of is. It kind of goes along with that open worldness now. It really does. My experience is similar to Tears of the Kingdom, but in a different way. I play both games and think, wow, this is such a good game, but I'm getting so frustrated and annoyed half the time I'm playing. And they're from different reasons, but that is just the experience I have playing either of those games. Is that I'm just wow, this is such a good game from a more objective standpoint. Why am I having such a bad time though in this moment? I understand why, but it's frustrating, and it's not frustrating the way Rivals, for example, or fighting games where it's wow, this is frustrating because I wish I was better at the game, or oh, this is frustrating because this person's reading me like crazy, or oh, I miss input, that's frustrating. It's those are all really explainable. These other ones are just oh, there's just facets of the gameplay, functionality, etc. of these games that have just rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah,
still really
I'm struggling with the size of Forbidden West.
I'd agree with that.
I keep doing everything but story.
Too. What?
And I'm
I was gonna say I'd agree with that with Starfield too, because there's a lot of amazing things with that game, and I think it works out too because PlayStation has Baldur's Gate right now, Xbox has Starfield. But I honestly I gave it an 8.5 in my review. It is technically a 9 or 9.5 game to me. I'm having that much fun with it, but from a game standpoint, I could not bring myself to give it above a 9. It's I kind of get there are issues with it, but it's a really great game, but there are issues with it just make me go, maybe not.
Just because there's more content in a game doesn't necessarily mean it's a better game. I think that's the confusion. Right. There's a lot of people with Tears of the Kingdom, with Baldur's Gate, with other stuff, and they are really good games. And I'm glad people are having a great time with them. But I worry that we're getting to this point where it's the more content a game has, the better it is, rather than how much fun it is. What's the gameplay? the story, what's like the characters, what's all all this other stuff. Like I'm concerned that's going to get to a point because like Final Fantasy 16, for example, not a ton of content, honestly. But again, it's my game of the year because throughout the entire time, I was consistently having so much fun. Was not frustrated by stupid mechanics. Just was having an amazing time. And it's very streamlined. And like, no, it wasn't an open world. There wasn't like all these decisions I can make with the story, whatever. But I'm gonna still play the game again, especially when that DLC comes out. But I don't know. That's maybe just a meme. Obviously, a lot of people prefer that gameplay anyway. It's like, again, I think you're totally right with Starfield. Like, I'm not getting Starfield because I already know it's too big of a game, and I can't even beat Skyrim. Not because I couldn't, like, difficulty-wise. It's because I get into the game. It's been years. I don't know what I'm doing. There's way too much, and I get overwhelmed, and then I leave again. And the cycle continues.
And that's where I'm like, if you love Bethesda game, like if you love those kind of games, awesome, you're really gonna love this. But for like a normal player, maybe not, because
it's like I have other games I want to play. I can't literally put all my eggs in one basket. Like I'm not. Other people
I had to force myself to get back to the main quest of Starfield to write the review because I got stuck in this particular quest line that you can get stuck in if you like do something wrong or if you like break the law. And so I was like, okay, I need to get to somewhere where I can go back and do the main story because this is taking forever and it's holding me back from. So like I was like, whatever. Like I'm just gonna. I had to get the review done, so it was just one of those things where. But yes, like if you really love Breath of the Wild, obviously you're gonna love Tears of the Kingdom. It's kind of a thing. It's like Starfield is technically like just a Fallout game in space, but if you love that, then that's amazing. It is an amazing game. So like I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. There's just things about it.
Totally. Yep. Besides that, I pulled a Cody. I have failed. I have fallen to capitalism a little bit. I've fallen to the mobile gaming market slightly. I got a stupid little free mobile game called Cats and Soup.
Cats and Soup.
And
that already sounds amazing.
It's an idle game, and it's free. With the caveat, the way I tolerate it is because ads are never thrown at you. You have to choose to see an ad, and like, yes, there are microtransactions you can partake in, or you can watch ads to like progress things faster.
Yeah,
but it's always with your
consent. Like Super Snail then.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's simple. There's just cats, and they're making soup. Okay, it's like
it looks adorable.
It's cute. It's stupid. And it's a time waster, and I don't know why. I succumbed to capitalism.
Where'd you find it?
I found an ad. I saw an ad, and I was like, I hate mobile game ads, but somehow this one got me. I'm like, no, I can't. But it's cute, and it's stupid, and
it's like I'm a sucker now because I'm a cat owner for cat stuff now. Like
exactly
in Payday 3, there's like a cat mask that you have to get to level 50 to unlock, and I'm like, I cannot wait till I unlock it because I am going to wear it.
Yes, and like you unlock different cats in the game. And I got a black cat, and I named him Felix, just like my black cat.
I'm downloading
I gave
this.
him a little hat, and you give him little outfits.
I'm not. I don't need another mobile game.
I downloaded Super Snail and never played it, but I'm definitely going to.
I'm still playing Super Snail and Pokemon Sleep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're just sleep. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Yep. But anyway, that's the other.
I almost have a Gengar.
There's no gameplay. The gameplay.
It looks like a storybook.
Yeah, the art style is really cute. They don't explain anything to you though, so good luck. They really are just like, hey, there's a cat making soup. Good luck, and you're like, wait, how does any of this work? And you just have
the ads for this are great because on the Google Play Store it says cats, and it says Cats and Soup free adoption to all to all humans, and then it says whether it rains or snows, whether it's spring or summer. We'll be cooking together. Cats and Soup. We'll wait for you.
I guess it was on Netflix. It was like a Netflix game for a while. I don't know if it still is, but I had no idea.
Okay.
Like I was looking up stuff from the game, and stuff for Netflix was coming up. I'm like, oh, interesting. I just have it on my phone, but
Netflix does have games.
So anyway,
they have a game
if you
section.
Need a cute idle game to waste your time on, but not even too much time because there's not much you can do in the game.
The ad sold me.
Eventually you can like help decorate, you can like dress up your little kittens, you could do other stuff, but yeah, I got that, and that's what I've
It's still on
Continuing.
Netflix. I bet you there's like a bonus, like current bonus, like content.
Probably. Maybe there's less ads. Maybe there's. I don't know. I have no idea.
Probably like an ad-free or less ad version. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't tolerate free games that have ads just without my consent, like just in my face that you can accidentally click. This is one where it's like, hey, you get these benefits if you watch an ad. I'm like, okay, cool. I can put my phone down for like a minute. It's over. And I'm like, cool. Okay, that I can tolerate that. That's fine.
Oh,
that's
it's called Cats and Soup Netflix edition. I'm gonna have to see what the
Netflix edition.
Interesting. Yep, that's it though. We can move on.
I was trying to see. Pokemon Sleep will tell me how many days I've used it every morning.
Oh, really?
But I don't know. But I almost have a Gengar. I feel like when I get my Gengar, I'm going to be tired of it. But evolving
Gengar.
Pokemon in the game is
You don't want a Gengar in Pokemon Sleep. It will eat your dreams. It will give you nightmares. It has dream
It will haunt you.
It's true. Like, yeah, it's weird that he's even in the game now that I think about that. That's a little odd.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy.
He's a hunter right now.
Okay.
But trying to make Pokemon evolve in this game takes literally weeks.
Wow. Which makes sense because
months.
The progress is nightly. It's not you can't do anything in the day. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
But and Super Snail. Super Snail. There's a lot to do with Super Snail. My biggest annoyance with Super Snail, I guess I haven't talked about this in a while, is they keep there's always something new to do, but great. But they're getting overly complicated things, and I'm like, I just want to press the button.
Yeah.
And because that's how the game starts, is like a idle game.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to these things where I'm supposed to be strategic, and I'm like, I'm supposed to hit buttons. I don't want to be strategic in this game.
No. Well, Cats and Soup, once you get far enough, they give you a fishing minigame, so.
Ooh.
I love
fishing minigames. Let's go. It works just like any other fishing minigame.
I'm very high up in Super Snail now.
Nice.
I play too much.
You're super snail.
I'm a super snail. Don't have the dragon form yet, but soon. Working on it. We can get into the gaming news. Not a lot of good news, LJ.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of awkward looking for news. Yeah, so the first one, it's kind of an update to some stuff that had been happening the past week. So there was people noticed that I guess the KOTOR trailer for the remake, by the way, I think that got announced a couple years ago at this point, a year or two ago. And so the video actually got made private or something. I guess it says oh, this video's I guess it lets you know oh yeah, you
unlisted.
can't watch. Yeah, unlisted. It was unlisted. So, and then also the tweets regarding the game were taken down. And so, apparently Sony has responded back to somebody, and they basically said that it was due to expiring licenses with music and such like that. And so, I guess they tried to reach out to Disney too, and nobody responded from Disney. But it's one of those things, it's why for something like that, would licenses be expired? That doesn't make sense.
I think they're just trying to cancel it and not sell people.
So, yeah. And so that's kind of the issue is that I think in the last year or so, too, I think Jason Schreier, I think he's one of the people that have been kind of reporting that there have been issues with the development of the game. Mm-hmm. I think there was even people that got laid off, which we'll get into more of that in a minute here. But there's, people that were supposed to be working on this game that are not anymore. And so... kind of sucks because I know there was a lot of people that were looking forward to this. I was looking forward to it.
Oh, I was too.
A lot of people bought and played the original KOTOR again because of this. So yeah, we might just have to be playing the original KOTOR again. Which I was down for this. It seemed like a really awesome idea.
It's tragic.
So that's really it. It is tragic. So I mean, I hope everything's good with it, but it's not looking great. Yeah, dang, that's a straight up loss. Right, that's an L right there for something cool that we were gonna get. So yeah, not much else to say there. Another thing that is kind of wild is that Epic has laid off 16% of their workforce which is apparently 830 employees, I think I saw.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Yeah.
And they have said this is due to Epic spending more money than they have, which, also I think I remember reading somewhere that I haven't really looked at this like by the numbers, since I haven't been playing a lot of Fortnite these days. And apparently they increased their V-Bucks cost like by some small percentage too.
No.
So I don't know if that's to make up for this or to I don't know, but yeah, it just sucks. Like that's 830 people out of a job, and hopefully there's
a lot of people.
Hopefully there's other places they can get hired to. Hopefully there's some other devs or publishers out there that could really use them. So yeah, it just that kind of sucks. Big corporations, all that stuff too. Yeah, so it sucks. Yeah, I don't know how else to go off that, but
there's no way to transition out of that.
I mean, we are going to get into some real positive news here with the movie stuff pretty soon, so that's good.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do that, we'll get into the movies we've been watching, which LJ and I, neither of us have watched a movie, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Shelly, what did you watch?
Yeah, so we as in my husband and I, fairly recently watched Secret World of Arrietty, which I never watched before. I've never seen it before, and it's a newer Ghibli movie. I mean, it's not like new, but it's like of the collection.
A lot of people have been getting back into Ghibli movies lately, I feel like, especially in like our chats and stuff. It's been
nice.
I've
noticed, and it's just so funny because every time I watch a Ghibli movie, I'm not necessarily one who's always like, oh, subs or dubs, like one's always better. Usually I'll watch a dub if it's available. I'm totally great with subs if not, or sometimes I'll watch subs. Either way, Ghibli movies, I almost always watch English dub because their voices are always like so famous. Like this one has Amy Poehler, it has Bridget Mendler, and I'm like, what the frick? It also has who's it? The dad also is somebody. Oh, I don't remember who.
Well, the cast are always so crazy with these movies.
Yeah, they get some wild cast.
They go hard, and they're always like really good too. It's not like they're like, oh, they're just famous and they're bad. It's like no, they're usually like they're pretty
this
good.
One yet.
Like Christian Bale as Howl is still like one of my favorites things ever. Okay, like Howl, that movie's one of my favorites ever. So I just love how they do that. But yeah, really good, cute movie.
Oh, Will Arnett is
Will Arnett. That's who. Yeah, I was trying to think who it was. Will Arnett's in it. I'm just like, this is
awesome.
crazy. This is so silly, but it's like they're not even in highly comedic roles or anything like that. Like Will Arnett and Amy Poehler, they're just in like regular roles. Then Bridget Mendler, who has a special place in my heart because I grew up watching Lemonade Mouth, and I unironically like it a little bit. I ironically like it too. So, but yeah, it's just a really cute, good movie. I don't really know what more to say about it. Like, it's not like it's necessarily super duper deep. Like, there's some good themes and everything. The animation's just so good. Like, honestly, even if you don't care about, like, the actual story, there's, like, not that much story. It's just the animation and, like, the fact that you get these, like, little small people in this big world. Like, so cool. Like, seeing, like, the way that they animate little dewdrops and, like, little... like these tiny things and like the physics of it all. It's very, very cool.
I love how all of these movies are on Max as well. That's almost worth the subscription alone. Is just like all the
seriously,
movies.
It's so good.
Wow, Arrietty was newer than Ponyo. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Ponyo I think was my first Ghibli movie in general.
Those movies are only 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely highly recommend Secret World of Arrietty. Don't sleep on it. Like, it's not necessarily one of their, like, big, super duper big movies like Spirited Away or anything, but it's really good. And I think it's very... I think that if I were to label it as a seasonal movie, I would say maybe it's more of a spring movie than a fall movie, but I think you can still definitely watch it any time of year.
I'm about ready to get into some fall movies.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Cool.
So that's what I watched.
We'll get into the movie news then.
Yeah, so talk about kind of the smaller news first. So we have a trailer for a remake of the Toxic Avenger, and I'll be honest, I had never heard of this first, and I really did think there's like no way it's like some Marvel thing. But no, it's not. It's super.
That's a that's a
super
movie my
annoying.
brother grew up with. I think. I don't know if I've. Yeah. Let me find out when the original one was released.
I think it was in the 90s. It was like 1998 or something like that. I could be wrong.
1984.
1984. Never mind. Way before. Okay.
Oh.
80s movie. I'm sorry.
It is older than I thought it was.
Locked my mic. But 80s. Okay, that makes sense. So, and from what I sort of like can gather from this old movie, the original, is that it was not necessarily super popular. It was like kind of a slasher black comedy superhero mix thing. But then of course, as a lot of those types of movies are, they're like not very popular at the time, but then become a cult classic. So that's what happens. And then the other remake, Peter Dinklage is in it. And do be aware when you're watching the trailer, it's very much rated R. It's very
It's a red
gory.
band. Red band
It's
trailer.
meant to be the.
Yep.
It's like supposed to be super gory. Like that was the point of the original movie. I think that was part of the ridiculous because it's this guy. It's a janitor who fell into a toxic waste, and so he beats people up with a mop and just kills them and destroys them. It's it's the Joker, but it was in a different timeline.
Did y'all see the image of Elijah Wood in it?
Elijah Wood's also in it. I forgot. Yeah.
People are comparing it to like Danny DeVito's Penguin. Like he looks like. I'm like, yeah, kinda.
I mean, he looks gnarly.
Yeah.
He does.
They all look kind of gnarly.
They do.
No, I think it's supposed to be like a gnarly movie in general. It's probably not going to be necessarily very good.
It's supposed to be over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be over the top. It'll be just one of those like it's just gory gore fest.
Yeah.
And it's silly and it's funny and it's over the top.
Someone out there's excited for it, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like some 80s movies. This one is just completely out of my wheelhouse.
Definitely not a movie for me,
Yeah.
and I'll admit that
Yeah.
and move on.
Like, if it comes to a streaming service, I might give it a shot, but that's about it.
Yeah.
News was slow, and I knew somebody would care.
Yeah. I mean, it's a remake. There's obviously
There's somebody listening is going, this is a cult classic, how dare you?
Yeah, exactly.
How could
It's
you
like,
not
oh,
like
it's so
it?
good. But anyway, so there's that. But I think the bigger news is the fact that the writer's strike is officially ended. They finally reached an agreement. Keep in mind, the actor's strike is still going. So
Yes.
writers are, I think, going back in action fairly soon. But actors, who knows? Who knows? We don't know what the actors are looking for. I mean, we kind of do a little bit, but I am happy for the writers. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they found some sort of agreement.
Hopefully, because that's done, the actor thing will move pretty fast too now. Hopefully.
Yeah.
because I know a lot of those issues were pretty intertwined. I mean, there was the pay thing,
A lot of
there
AI
was the
stuff.
AI stuff, and so if they were able to agree stuff with the writers, that my big hope too is that they'd be able to.
The issue we mentioned too is it's not just over, but the writers really kind of won in a lot of ways.
Yes,
They were getting what they wanted, which is good.
this is what we want.
We were team writers.
And guess
not
what,
team
guys?
corporate.
This is going to give us, for even if you don't care about the well-being of writers and them as people or anything, what you can at least care about is the fact that it's going to give us better content in the future. Because if we know anything from especially the last couple of years, the content where people have clearly put more time and care into it, especially the writers, is
Movie
so
releases have been really
obvious
sparse
how much
the past
better they
couple weeks
are.
too.
And big budget movies are becoming less and less popular. They are losing money, like these big Disney releases, because writers don't care and other people don't care. People making the movie don't really care that much. It's just Disney and other really big corporations who are like, oh well, we gotta
I
release
have to
this
wonder
for
because one of the
money.
things was like writers, AI learning from writers, and I'm like, have we done that? Have we watched movies that were written by AI at this point?
I hope not, but it's possible.
Like,
I
in
don't
part,
know.
you
I
know,
hope not. Yeah.
Could
obviously
just
not
be
completely,
threat
but
that it could have happened. But
It was probably Joss Whedon's Justice League if it was any of them.
oh, I definitely thought Love and Thunder. I could totally see Taika
yeah.
being like, let's just throw some scripts in there and
Yeah.
go with it.
Totally. Yeah. So this is overall a dub for the
The
writers.
Flash.
Sorry,
but-
Maybe AI did wrote the Flash or did the Flash.
That would make sense too. That movie. Oh,
that was
that
AI
movie's bad.
generated.
I feel like it's too old for that. There's no way, but like, man, the AI could have generated the CGI better than they did.
I was going to say that about Love and Thunder, but then I did it. But you could still say that about Love and Thunder as well.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be interesting. Again, we kind of also hope that the actor strike will end soon on the actors' terms, right? That they will get what they want, they'll get what they need.
For sure.
And then we'll be able to be happy again. And they'll be happy again. But I think it would be really awkward and funny. Maybe funny isn't the right term. But it'll be interesting if the writer's strike, over, they got what they wanted, but if the actors, keep striking for a long time, I'd be curious to see what would come of that, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things where not necessarily everything that a writer uses or writes on needs an actor per se, but a lot of these things do.
They just need to get this stuff done really fast so we can get the next Spider-Verse movie.
That's really what I want. I want the next... I obviously care for their well-being and I want them to do well, but I also want the next Spider-Verse movie.
Did you see... We didn't report on this, but Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has been filming without actors.
Yeah,
because they
I heard that.
The stand-ins.
We need that too. We need that ASAP too. I want Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
Yep. Anyway, I don't really know what more to say about it, but overall, it's pretty monumental.
Let's all get this done real quick, as long as the actors get paid what they're worth.
What they want. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Yeah.
We'll get into the TV then. I got to watch Ahsoka. Ahsoka's still good. I don't think people were super in love with this last episode, but the show itself has been good enough that I don't care.
I've really enjoyed what I've watched of it, and it's only been a few episodes that I've gotten to watch.
It was still fun.
Yeah.
It was weird. Disney just has a weird thing about their penultimate episodes
Their
being filler.
Is weird.
And this episode felt like filler. It's just odd. You have one more episode. What are you doing? Kind of thing.
If they just extend it to 10 episodes, I think 10 is the sweet spot. I hope anyway.
Or just have more happen in the episodes.
Yeah. They try to get so much
weird,
done in so little time, and then don't. Like you're saying.
I'm very excited for the rest of this. I am so sad though, because of Ray. Can't remember his last name. Skull. Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson. Yeah.
This episode, that was the one thing is this episode not a lot happens, and so I'm you're wasting your precious time with Ray Stevenson. But hindsight's 2020. How could they have known?
You should go watch Punisher Warzone since he's in that.
Okay.
Not that he's not that it's an amazing movie, but just if you want more Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, he is. But it's his character too. It's not just him.
His
it's
character
the writing.
is amazing. Yeah.
He's the most interesting Star Wars character I've ever seen. So I'm sad to see him go, and I want want them to be able to do more.
Yeah, and after watching Rebels too, I think watching them both back to back like I'm doing, it's just so weird, especially the things they do with the time gap too. There's this whole relationship that we hadn't seen, we didn't get to see build up, and so it's also kind of weird, but it's still good. I enjoyed it a lot.
For sure. And then me and LJ, we got a little sporty this week.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Saw your football thing, but I watched the Canelo versus Charlo fight.
I did as well. I just didn't know if it was worth talking about. So.
Yeah, you brought up football. Why not?
Yeah,
it was a pretty cool situation. So I was at the gym, like I do, and one of the guys there that works there, he actually trains people. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month to train with him. And he just kind of came up to me and he was like, "Hey, so we have the normal gym, and then we have this garage that's full of the Olympian balls, the really strongman stuff.
Oh, nice.
We've got kegs for throwing kegs over your head and wheels,
the big tires and stuff. Yeah.
So I never go there. If you've seen me, I don't go. That's the place I never go. But they turned it into they had the TV and they had the chairs out and they brought food. Nice. And he was just kind of came up to me randomly and was like, "Hey, we're gonna have this fight on Saturday if you wanna come in." And so me and my wife did our workout, and then
they probably saw y'all enough enough that they're like, "Hey, well, let's invite them."
Yeah, it was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really neat just for me because I don't know a whole ton about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
To be there with someone he trains, that's his job.
Yeah.
So he was so educated on everything that was going on. It was really cool to get his perspective. It was also a lot of fun just to bring my wife. She's never seen a boxing match all the way through. I don't think she's ever seen a pay-per-view boxing match ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she really enjoyed. She thought she'd be bored. She was trying to bring the Switch, thought that she would be bored out of her mind on her phone the whole time, and she loved it. It was just really funny. Leave it to my wife to enjoy violence.
Growing up in a Latino family, like watching pay-per-views is like something we did. So obviously we were rooting for Canelo, and we had a big thing at my aunt's party too. A bunch of people cooked and stuff like that, and it was a good time. So those things like that, when there's fighters we're interested in watching, like we have a TV outside. My aunt has a TV outside, like in their patio area, so the kids go to play in the pool and stuff, and then we'll hang out.
About as hot as having it in the garage.
Yeah, especially in Louisiana. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's always a good time when we.
It was fun to watch. Charlo didn't stand a chance.
No, it was very one-sided. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He went up, I believe, 2 weight classes to fight in that, so it was kind of
wow. Okay.
Woo.
Yeah.
and Canelo has definitely done his own weight class movement too in the past. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. But that's all that I've been watching. So what about you, LJ?
Yeah, so I watched. So the NFL had an England game in the morning at Wembley Stadium, and Disney and ESPN Plus. It was on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. They had an alternate version that was basically live animated in like Toy Story form, and they had 2 commentators who also were like animated and stuff. Like it took place in Andy's room. Yeah, it's wild. So they had like all the players were like mostly generic and the same, like, but they had the numbers on their jerseys and stuff. They called it like an actual game too, but it was just like I don't know if they were reading off of something or if they were all just in or if they were like in a green screen area somewhere or what. But they did real fun things, and it was quite interesting. So they had the claw, and that would basically pick up the ball and place it like where it needed to be, like when they would line up, when the players would line up. They had Slinky Dog as like the chains for like the first down markers and stuff like that. And they also had the claw sometimes they would have an alien, one of the aliens, and the alien would be holding a camera, like to be the sky cam and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely one of those things they did because obviously they're trying to get more varying audiences, right? They're trying to get younger kids involved who are interested in football. They did a lot of things that actually were educational and kind of helped teach kids like what football was, or just in general to help people understand like the rules of the game and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like like I already knew this stuff, but I was like, it was really, really fascinating. Like they took the time, not just, it didn't feel like they just did it to make money off of it, like, I mean, I'm sure like it just felt like they definitely did it with quality. The uprights were like basically like toy blocks, and when they would kick when the ball would hit the post on the uprights in the actual game, the blocks would fall down in the room. So that's like they had one game. They had the main game going on ESPN on like the standard channel they were doing it on, and then this was on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. So it was like this was going on at the same time, and it's just I don't know what technology they used to do it, but it was fast. It was very interesting. There was something I did laugh at, though, where I guess a couple of the players were, like, mouthing off to each other. And so this thing picks up everything the players do. Yeah. And so then they're like, yeah, like, it looks like they're having a word. It's like, oh, yeah, it looks like they're having words with each other. But, we want everybody to be friendly here in Andy's room. Like, all this stuff. Like, like, it was interesting.
Okay.
Last year they did a Nickelodeon one where basically they did, like, they had, like, the voices of SpongeBob and Patrick commentate a football game. And they did some, like, slime animated style stuff with it, like, on Nickelodeon. But I think they went above and beyond with this Toy Story thing. I thought it was really cool. They had, like, they would do all the characters and stuff. They even had a halftime show with Duke Kaboom doing a stunt, and it was funny. No voice work, obviously. I imagine this is because strikes and all that stuff. They probably couldn't get the voices, But, it was just funny how they had the little halftime show with Duke Kaboom and everything. And you could tell the players got into it because they had a lot of interviews with players. They obviously did prior to the game and all that. But it was just like, it was fun. Like, it was a fun time. It was creative. So, Yeah, it was maybe one of the weirdest things I think I've seen.
Definitely.
cool.
What the heck?
But it's super fun. I'm just like, wow, like y'all really went all out on this. So yeah, it's just one of those weird. It's weird and strange, but it's also really cool. So
Nice.
yeah.
Thanks. Cool. We'll get into the TV news then. We got a couple of Netflix things. A couple trailers. One was Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Very short teaser, but looks good. Don't really have much to add to it. It just looks like a good anime.
Yeah.
And then we got a trailer for Tomb Raider that actually looks pretty detailed, voiced by Hayley Atwell, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh.
And I didn't know it was her when I first saw the trailer, and then I saw an article that had that headline. I was like, oh, that's even cooler. Like, that's awesome. Like, she totally fits that, you know? Like, there was even parts of the Tomb Raider game that I could tell, like, was, like, they, it looks like they're using the remakes as canon, because you see this old picture she's looking at, and it's, like, of her and like, the group, and, like, her actual clothes she wears in, like, the original, like, in that first remake of the new trilogy. So I was like, that's kind of cool. They're using that as canon. But she also looks like she's wearing her just classic, like, outfit from, like, that she wears most of the games, you know, like the shorts and the tank top and stuff. So I was like, that's cool. Like, so I'm sure Devil May Cry will be fine, but I'm most interested in Tomb Raider just to see, like, what they do with that one.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I'm down with Netflix making video game stuff. They seem to do it correctly. Much better than they do anime live actions. Although One Piece, you said, is good, so maybe
One Piece is solid.
Piece.
maybe I'm jumping the gun there.
It's fine. It's actually very decent.
But yeah, TV news pretty light. Hopefully, with the writers coming back, we'll get a bit more news. It's been kind of hard to get news lately.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Are you guys geeking out about anything else this week?
I do have something real quick. I did get for the books department. I got a couple physical books. From I think it's Titan Publishing. One of them is one of them's been out already. I think one of them comes out on the 31st. One of them is an official novelization of Conan the Barbarian, the like original movie.
Whoa!
And then the other one is apparently a new story that was written called Conan Blood of the Serpent. So the movie one is like super short. I get to actually watch the movie and read that book, which is like 200 pages. And then Blood of the Serpent is like I think like just over 500. So that one's gonna take me a bit longer, I think, but I'm excited. It's kind of neat. Like, you know, we get, you know, other cool, you know, we get review copies all the time, but just to get some like physical books was kind of neat. Like, that's something I don't think I've ever done before. So
yeah, heck yeah.
I'm excited, but I just wanted to give that a shout out because that's fun.
Yeah,
so
books
I'll
are
definitely be talking about those in the future.
Sick. We will end the podcast there then. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under LJ the Paladin.
And Shelly?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellShock24.
And you guys find me on Instagram at Cody Armor. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye!
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.